Literally just, you think about it in all of this stuff. The subject line of your email, the headline of your message, the headline of your page, right? The title of your book, those are all the headlines. If they don't respond, if that doesn't match them, they'll never get to the rest of it. So the headline becomes the most important thing. They're not going to open your email if the subject line does not catch their attention. Okay, so once they've dialed in their slam dunk customers, now their messages resonate better, therefore their conversions increase. So if you go look at your headlines, if you go look at your stuff and you can get a tighter match and you can get a better conversion on that page, the friction reduced because they were now in psychographic beliefs, emotions, values. They were in psychographic alignment with the prospect. The prospect felt that there was more trust. They're then able to dial in their sales process to convert that specific person over and over and over again. Okay, so everything gets better. They're able to increase the lifetime value of that person because we now, by providing exactly what that person wants. It's much easier to come up with what product you should sell, what services you should offer, if you know exactly who we are sending it to. Okay? All right, so now it's your turn. And you are going to define yours. 3 to 5 things that you know about that customer. Okay? 3 to 5 things that you know about your customer. That ideal customer. All right, so now we're going to take that. And now what we want to do is we want to position yourself so that you feel like the only option to that person. So circle that person in your notes, right? Everything you're now doing is for that person. Okay? We're going to talk about and do. All right. Why do we do this? So I threw the slide in here because I want to bring it back to really kind of the fundamental thinking about why this is so important. So there is this income hierarchy. And as you go create your business, as you create your products, as you create your service, as you create your positioning in the marketplace, a part of that will determine how much you can charge and how much money you can make. And it goes right here on this income pyramid. At the bottom of it are commoditized products and services. So if you position yourself, if you sell, if you are seen as a commodity, meaning I can get the same thing from somebody else, then the only thing people have to judge you by is price. That's why the price amount can't go much higher. So if we then go up a level, it's real or perceived solutions to actual problems. Okay? And then if we go up to the highest level, we're selling aspirational, and we're selling hopes, and we're selling desires. And people will pay a lot more money for those things. So now it's, how do I create what it is that I do, what it is that I sell to that person that you have now defined, and how do I create it as an aspirational, a hope, or a desire? Okay, that's what we're going to try and do. So as you create this, the reason we don't want to stay there at the bottom is because otherwise you get stuck. There's a ceiling as to how much you can charge. Now, can we make a lot of money doing that? Yeah, you can. But there's a ceiling to how much you can charge. So depending on which way you want to go about this. So Dan has a proprietary trademarked question, which is, why should I, your prospective customer, choose to do business with you versus any and every other option available to me, including doing nothing? So with so many options out there today, with so many things happening, we actually just become paralyzed, and the answer is, well, I'm just not going to do anything. So not only do you have to get somebody up off the couch, get them moving, get them to say yes, get them to your conversation, get them to your webinar, get them to do that. You have to get them off the couch, because it's easier just to sit back down and go, never mind, I'm just not going to do it. Okay? And if I can't choose why I'm going to do business with you versus any and every other option to me, you are a commodity. That's why this question becomes so important. So I give everybody at the boot camp, I give everybody in almost every one of my sessions, this template. John Carlton came in. John Carlton and Dan Kennedy were on a stage at one of our events, great event, and John said, Dan, it's actually pretty easy. Here's the template. It's we help. Okay. Well, who do you help? this group of people. So now how do you take those 3 to 5 things that you just defined for your person, and how do you make it a small little group like this? So who do you help? What do you do? So this is the benefit, the result that they want. The better, the faster, the easier. What is it that they want? Not what you really do, what they really want. 2 different things. Okay? And then you can add the even if and put their worst case scenario in there. So their biggest objection to you, that's all good, but here's why this won't work for me because. So even if their biggest because, their biggest but is there. Okay? So I always say this is a really good place to start. Templates are always starts. So a good place for you to start to be able to answer that same question. Okay? People used to get on office hours with me and say, I can't figure this out. Okay, well, tell me who you help. Then tell me what you do. And then what's their biggest objection? Now let's put it together. So this is literally what I would tell you if we were on a strategy call doing this. Okay? And then we have a unique selling proposition. A unique way to be positioned in the marketplace. Okay? So here's another one. We help dentists double their production in 90 days or less. We help dentists create a continuously profitable dental practice by doing the right thing every time for every patient. These were real ones that I've used in the past. But here's the problem. I just taught you in a way in which is fundamentally wrong. Because it's the way we've all been taught. And that is that, so often, I should have got ahead of myself in one slide. Often our marketing isn't failing, it's that we're aiming at the wrong target. We're aiming with the wrong message. Okay? And so what Dan had discovered years ago was that marketing doesn't always fail because it's wrong. It fails because we're trying to sell the wrong thing. So the real truth is most buyers aren't looking for help. We are, because we like that. We want to fix things. We want to sit in a room like this and learn. We want to get on the calls and figure this out because we know it's going to make us more money. But most people aren't here because most people don't want to do that. So when I say we're building this on the wrong foundation, we're selling the wrong thing, it's that we're positioning some of this stuff in the wrong way. And we're building our business on the wrong foundation. Because even the best message will fail if it's built on a broken premise. And so the top 1% understand this. Okay? They understand that buyers aren't looking for help. They're looking for a new way out. Now, we've all heard Russell tell us we need to create a new opportunity. But this is like this morning. How many people have heard Dan say this? How many people have heard Russell say a new opportunity but are like, yeah, but how do I figure that out? Right? I can't figure out how to position this as a new opportunity. So I'm going to give you a new way to think about this and a new way to go about figuring out that new opportunity for your business. Because if you position yourself as that new opportunity, if you position yourself as this way out, more people become attracted to you. Because more people want the easy button. More people want that. They don't want to figure out how to get better at something. They don't want to learn how to do it. Okay? And so the question becomes, what are you building your current marketing on? Are you building it on a new identity that your buyer is craving, or are you trying to upgrade their life? So when I say most marketing starts in the wrong place, it's because how many of you guys have heard, find a problem, agitate that problem, solve the problem? It's a core thing. But here's the reason that it's built on the wrong premise. Now, this is, again, another one of those advanced topics, but also fundamental topics, okay? Because note, you can build a really good business on this. Multi-million-dollar businesses on this. But you can get there easier if we build the same business with a slightly different message. Because what this one is based on is that word problem. And that then assumes that everybody wants to fix that problem. And I just showed you, everybody doesn't want to fix the problem. We'd be beating people away from the doors if everybody wanted to fix the problem. So the percentage, this is when we say you are not your prospect, you are not your buyer, this is part of what we mean. You want to do it this way. So you're attracted to that message. You like that message because you want to do that, but they don't. So if we change our message, we can attract more people. This also assumes that your prospect is motivated by logic, responsibility, and incremental progress. See, you like getting a little bit better. You like creating new opportunities. You like creating new worlds, right? As Russell said this morning. Because you like to get better, and then you like to go, right? We like to do that. Everybody doesn't like to do that. Okay? So what you've been doing by doing that has been better than what most people do, but we can still do better.
If you want to learn from the greatest marketing minds of our generation, then subscribe to our channel and check out these videos.